Okay, I've got some custom fonts set up over each character, and uh, and some timing set up so one speaks first and then the other answers. I can show you that if you're interested. Just send me a holler. But what's really cool is that fireball effect that just happened. My health goes down. You can see my health. You can see how many lives I have, and I also have it set. If you hit it, it fires back at the dragon. And so now my game mechanics are starting to develop, and that's really kind of cool. My health is going down. Oh yeah, I do die, though that animation is really screwed up. I need to redo all of my sprites. You see how it suddenly... yeah, so that's a problem. Still working on that. But I do have the... wait, I don't have a next... I don't have a way to restore. I need to do that. Yikes. Oh, enter. Enter button, does it? Nope. They just forced me to attack. Oh, even though I'm dead, I can still do an animated attack. Oh, that's also a problem. Okay. Well, got plenty of stuff to fix. Okay, let's see here. The first thing that I wanted to show you how I did was actually to isolate how I isolated this health bar from the Happy Dragon kit, which is totally awesome that we got from Graphic Ripper. I added that in as a sprite, so I have just two versions of that, and then I added a GUI object to the game, and I also added it to the map, and it was just a question mark on the map because it has no sprite. I can uncheck visible. It doesn't matter because there's nothing being drawn, so whether it's visible or not doesn't really have any effect. Okay, so all that I have is I set the font to press start. So I have a couple different fonts. So I set that up, and then I set the color that I want so that it's readable. And then here's my code. This is the code for the health bar, actually no, the number of lives, and this is the code for the health bar. So they're both very, very similar. So I draw the sprite, and this is, again, this is happening in the draw event. I thought maybe the draw GUI event would be the smarter play, but I gave it a try and it wasn't working. So maybe Mr. Vanek can explain what that's all about, but I just need to do some reading on how that works. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing the sprite that I just showed you, 0 indicating what cell of the sprite, so 0 if there's only one sprite, and the position is going to be, so the view is just select the view, the current view. So the current x value, the current size of the, I'm sorry, the width of the display. So plus 50. So it's going to be right along the edge, plus 50. And then I went down because the y is this is the length of the window that I currently have when it's playing, and I'm just saying, in a video game, oftentimes you have multiple views. You can get a zoom up when someone's talking, and all sorts of things. There's a lot of cool effects. I'm only using one view, and so are you probably in your project, but we just say view current is the current view. So I could just put 0 in here because that's the only view I'm using, but this is just a better practice. And then, so it's going, so at this position, start from the position, the top corner, and then go down the width of the view minus 150. So I go all the way down, and then I just scoot it back by 150, and I just tweak these numbers until the code was starting, until the sprite was in a position that I liked. So once I draw the sprite, which is that picture, now I need text on top of that. And so I'm drawing text. And I'm just using very, very similar to this, but instead of plus 50, I played with this number until I figured out that 155 was just far enough so it lined up with the sprite. And same thing with the Y. Instead of 150, 125 got it about level. And so I played with these numbers as well in order to get that lined up. The text, however, it was a little bit too big. Wasn't lining up very well because the damage is 3 digits long, like at 100%. And so it didn't look as nice. The lives is just 3, 2, 1, and so that's easy. But the text transformation here, I just wanted 80% size, so I just threw that in there. So that way I didn't have to change fonts or excuse me. I didn't have to change fonts or anything like that. Okay, and so that's the whole draw event. I mean, that's really all I had to do. And now I've got my lives and stuff showing. What I can also show you is how I was able to attack the fireball. Okay, so I already talked to you in the last video about how I turn the sprite so it's aiming towards where it's going. But now I added a variable, a Boolean, like an on-off switch, to record whether or not it's been knocked back, meaning that it's now ready to do damage to the dragon, and no longer a collision would no longer hurt my knight anymore, because just to avoid hitting it and then it accidentally, because it's moving away from you, it still brushes you and does damage, and that would be just because the sprite is just not well programmed to avoid that. And so anyway, I'm using a switch. This is often my most common way of solving problems, just having this on-off switch to record whether the current state of something, is it knocked back or not. I just start off as false. So when I collide with the knight, we're going to set knocked back to true, because it's either being destroyed right afterwards, or if it survives, then we're recording that property as true. Okay, and now the knight code, and let's see. So when I collide with a fireball, I check to see if is swinging. And again, I have another Boolean setting up for is swinging. And so if that's true, then have the other of the collision have the fireball. So self is the knight, other would be the fireball. Have that thing start moving towards the dragon's X and the dragon Y. And I might adjust this because that's the top left corner of the picture of the dragon, and so I might want to scoot it down a little bit, like plus, I don't know, let's try 25, and I'll come back and see how that works. And go at the speed of 10, so it gains a little speed. And then again, transform the sprite so it is now turned in the same direction, so that it looks like it's supposed to be heading that direction as well. Otherwise, destroy the fireball and set your health down to 20, so now you take damage. So that's really all that it took. It wasn't all too bad. If you have any questions, if you want a more in-depth explanation of any part, just let me know, and I can absolutely do that for you.